Unless the mayor wants to do it. Want to do the invocation? Okay.
Moment of silence.
Okay. I'd like to call the City Caucus meeting to order for Monday, November 27th, 2023. We have two public hearings this evening. If the clerk could please read.
Public hearing number 1, the 2024 Upper Union Street Business Improvement District budget.
Number 2.
Public hearing number 2, the 2024 Downtown Schenectady Assessment District, Downtown Schenectady Improvement Corporation budget.
Thank you. We have 10 items for original consideration. If the clerk could please read item number 1.
Item number 1 for original consideration, a resolution calling for a public hearing to amend the City of Schenectady Code Section 234-1 to modify the annual income amount for the tax exemption.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 2.
Item number 2 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing an amendment to the collective bargaining agreement 2019 to 2024 between the City of Schenectady and Firefighters Local 28 IAFF AFL-CIO related to firefighters trainees.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 3.
Item number 3 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing an amendment to the collective bargaining agreement 2019 to 2024 between the City of Schenectady and Firefighters Local 28 IAFF AFL-CIO related to the drug and alcohol policy and testing plan.
Discussed in committee without objection and on consent. Item number 4.
Item number 4 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the reimbursement of expenses by the Rose Garden Restoration Committee.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 5.
Item number 5 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1908 Avenue B for $107,000.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 6.
Item number 6 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of a vacant lot on Avenue B for $2,000.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 7.
Item number 7 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of a vacant lot at 929 Cutler Street for $1,500.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 8.
Item number 8 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of a vacant lot at 1419 Broadway for $10,000.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 9.
Item number 9 for original consideration, a resolution recognizing Army veteran Private Raymond C. Zanta.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent, and this will be presented at a later date. Item number 10.
Item number 10, under contract and supply, a resolution awarding the bid and contract for the 2023 HVAC maintenance and repairs to R&B Mechanical Incorporated in the total amount of $212,488.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. If there's nothing more to come before the City Caucus, I ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Ms. Patrick, second by Mr. Williams. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned. I'd like to call to order the City Council meeting for Monday, November 27th, 2023. If we could all please stand, we have no one to do the invocation. If we just observe a moment of silence for all that's going on in the world. Thank you. I'd like to call on Councilman Williams to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
Thank you. If the clerk could please complete the roll call.
Mr. Mutaveran is absent. Mr. Toro? Present. Mr. Farley? Here. Mr. Williams? Present. Ms. Patrick? Here. Mr. Palomini? Here. Ms. Porterfield?
Here. We have 2 public hearings this evening, and just a reminder, the public comment for public hearings is 4 minutes. And I ask people to respectfully ask that any person that comments only to the subjects that is relevant to the public hearing. Thank you. Public hearing number 1, the 2024 Upper Union Street bid budget. No one has signed up to speak. So I declare that public hearing number 1 closed. Public hearing number 2, the 2024 Downtown Schenectady Assessment District, Downtown Schenectady Improvement Corporation budget. We have one person signed up? We have one person signed up to speak. Betsy Sandberg.
Greetings. At this time of year when we are all being so grateful for everything, it's kismet that there's a public hearing on DSIC's budget. As a board member of the Electric City Arts and Entertainment District, which is housed at 432 State Street, and the Electric City Arts District is who brings you Kids Arts Festival, the Jazz on Jay concert series, to downtown. We are so grateful for everything that DSIC does to support us. It's instrumental to the success of these events. People may think of DSIC, I think that they think it's just about hanging baskets and the plantings and the hometown heroes and sidewalk strolls and what else? Oh, there's tater tots and there's trots and there's wing walks and restaurant weeks. But they also have been doing so much more, the effort to bring the blood sculptures to downtown Schenectady, the Fall Spooktacular, and one event that already brings thousands of people, but DSIC coordinated the pre-parade activities on November 18th. DSIC connected Monet with us, and we were able to print an image of the locomotive, and I've got it small here. It's going to be very big and larger than this, but that's the locomotive. Monet painted it in 1875 because he loved trains. And so the theme of the parade was New York State of Mind, and when I think about New York, what do I, trains, and they're built here and everything. So we had people give us words and phrases that were turned into a community poem. I'm just going to read a tiny bit. The toot toot of the train in the snow always arrives before the steam. The train in the snow is red and black, chug chug chugging through polar woods on a wintry track. Two bright lights shimmer and shiver through the ice and snow on its way to deliver travelers craving for company in cozy homes, explorers anticipating a new way. There is much more that you'll have to come to Proctor's Arcade to read it. Perhaps you'll come to see it when we have the student showcase, December 6th at 6 p.m. in the Robb Alley part of Proctor's. And yes, there is Girl from the North Country playing there too. So if you've got tickets, you can get some free music from Schenectady City middle school and high school students and the faculty band, 3 of the high school or middle school teachers, as well as Bob Halleck, who is at Skidmore College. So I just wanted to say thanks so much, and I really am looking forward to a great year 2024 with DSIC's continued support. Thanks.
Thank you. I have no one else signed up to speak, so I declare public hearing number 2 closed. Ask for approval of minutes for November 13th, 2023. Moved by Mr. Williams, second by Mr. Farley. All in favor? Aye. If the clerk would please read any communications and petitions.
Communications presented to the City Council for Monday, November 27, 2023. Official. From the Mayor, a list of appointments dated November 27, 2023. Under General, there were none, and under Petitions, there were none.
Thank you. Thank you. Ask council members to provide any committee reports. Any committee reports? Seeing none, this time we'll have privilege of the floor related to the legislative agenda. And I have no one signed up to speak for the legislative agenda, so therefore I declare the public comment on the legislative agenda closed. Ask the council for approval of the legislative consent agenda. Moved by Ms. Patrick. Second by Mr. Farley. All in favor? Aye. This time we're going to have privilege of the floor regarding general city business, and I have 5 people signed up to speak. Just a reminder, there are only 3 minutes for this, for public comment for city business. The first person I have is Ed Lavin Jr.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor and re-elected council members. I will be seeking to have you all impeached. A mayor and council member swear an oath of office. I'm sure covering up for 3 corrupt judges is not in that oath. I'm sure keeping me out of the news is also not in your oath to protect the Constitution. I'm sure having Daniel of New York State Audits falsely arrested in City Hall and at police scenes while using his constitutional rights to film is a vindictive act by you, Mr. Mayor, because he did a video of me in front of City Hall while I was protesting. You refused to meet with me, Mayor, as did the police, sheriff, and everyone in New York. I did speak with D.A. Carney. He is right, there is no obstruction of justice in New York, but there is obstruction of governmental administration in the 2nd degree. New York Penal Law, Section 195.05, of which Frost, Valatico, and Hoffman are guilty of. They are also guilty of conspiracy to deprive me of my constitutional rights. And everybody in front of me is complicit of that. I have come to you for help, and you have done zilch. I'm going to read you a letter I sent to John D. Augustine, of the Gazette President, on 10/8/2023. Dear Mr. D. Augustine, I've been to your editor, Miles Reed, 4 times in person and a couple of emails. I am on YouTube, New York State Audit, Corruption in City Hall, and a recap of that video. I am also on several YouTube, Schenectady, New York City Council meetings, in which I asked for the mayor and council members' help in dealing with these 3 corrupt judges. Valatico is seeking to become a Supreme Court judge. In my court case, SC 002-853-19, he vacated my default judgment without proper service and 11 days before the hearing. He broke every rule of court and several constitutional laws. I have filed 15 motions to reinstate my judgment. Valatico refused to recuse himself on 13 of them. I am the protester in front of City Hall for 2 years, and I will remain there. The Daily Gazette is doing an injustice to the citizens of Schenectady and the voters, and to me personally. How does the Gazette keep Valatico's actions a secret when he is running for Supreme Court? How does the Gazette keep the mayor and city council members' inaction a secret? The mayor is running for a 4th term, and city council members are seeking re-election. Your reporters report on speeding and garbage complaints, not mine. I most certainly realize that in my case, 20 people didn't die in a limo crash. I also realize that the limo owner would have gotten off with community service and a fine if the first judge didn't retire. The judge wouldn't have retired if there wasn't TV and newspapers reporting the truth. I certainly hope you're not a party to the corruption in Schenectady and are willing to print the truth. The Times Union wrote what Valatico spoon-fed them, not the proof I showed Pete DeBola. Yours truly, Ed Lavin Jr. Hope to hear from you long before the elections. There was no response. Thank you.
Thank you. Judy Reitmeyer?
Hello, I'm Judy Reitmeyer, Director of the Capital District Tobacco-Free Communities, and I left a report on your desk that summarizes the data from a study that we did looking at tobacco retailers in the city of Schenectady. The biggest takeaway, the 2 main takeaways from this are that low-income neighborhoods have more tobacco retailers per capita than higher-income neighborhoods, and that those same neighborhoods have disproportionately higher number of tobacco retailers located near schools. We looked at 31 tobacco retailers that were within 1,500 feet of schools on one day in October in the zip codes of 12303, 04, 05, and 07. All the photographs in that report were taken at the stores that we visited. Stores that violated New York State laws have been reported to the Schenectady County Environmental Health Department and any other, there's some state agencies that we had to report to too for violations that we found. The report is a visual tour of the tobacco marketing strategies that tobacco companies use in the city of Schenectady. Briefly, I'm just gonna, give you a little overview of what is in that report. And I was supposed to start my timer and I didn't, but I'm gonna do it now and stop me a minute more, whatever. So page 2 gives a background of the tobacco retailers, what they used to do, which was those billboards and Joe Camel kind of advertising. That's outlawed. What they've instead done now is to do point of sale advertising and marketing. Page 3 shows the location of the retailers. If you live in a high poverty community in the city of Schenectady, you're more likely to be exposed to tobacco marketing and promotion. Within those same communities, tobacco retailers are more likely to be located within 1,500 feet of one or more schools. There's a good piece at the end that summarizes the distance in the different neighborhoods of Schenectady County, the different towns of Schenectady County, and the neighborhoods. Page 4 shows the exterior tobacco ads. You don't have to enter a store to see tobacco marketing. New York State law says that you can't advertise within 1,500 feet of a school, and there certainly are violations of that we found in those 31 stores. The wall of tobacco products, which is shown on page 5, is one of the primary ways. They have their entire wall filled with tobacco products, which of course is disproportionate to the number of people that use tobacco products, but it gives the impression that the more that's there, that everybody's buying it. There are interior ads too, that's on page 6. Page 7 shows the amount of flavored tobacco products that still exist. 94% of the stores sell flavored cigars and cigarillos. 84% of the stores sold menthol cigarettes, and I think it's about half of them sold flavored electronic cigarettes.
I need you to summarize.
Thank you. I just noticed I'm at 1 minute. So the takeaway is definitely that the stores in Schenectady are disproportionately higher amounts of tobacco marketing and promotion, especially flavored products, in those neighborhoods with the least number of resources. We are here to answer any questions, share with you what other communities have done to address that, and our contact information's on there. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Stephanie Hayes.
Good evening. I just want to say congratulations to my opponents that I didn't win, but you ran a good campaign. Second of all, I'm here because a lot of my friends have reached out to me about the budget, and they're worried about the police and the fire department overtime being cut. So I firmly suggest that we revisit the budget and see what we can do to get them their money that they need. And if we can't do it, then I suggest to Mr. Mayor that you veto that budget and go back to the drawing board. Because at this time, everybody is scared of the police and fire department being cut and not having services. So I've gotten a lot of feedback on that right now. So that's where I am at this moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tom Kennedy.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here tonight to speak for the Republican Party. I'm also a resident in the city of Schenectady, the Woodlawn area. I want to raise issue with the fact that the city council was 20 days late on the budget. I understand it's 27 days late now, waiting for the mayor to take a look at it, which is his right. But I got to revisit a little bit. I watched all the nonsense that went on during the budget hearings, and I do agree with the mayor when he said it was lunacy. However, a week before the budget deadline, there was a recess call. So we're going to call recess all week before we'll work on it when we get back. So when they came back, we find out that Mr. Mudavaren was down in Guyana. So he's down there on a little fiesta while the budget was late. It came in late later on. And then when it came back, you recessed till October 31st. Then Mr. Farley wasn't here. Then on November 1st, Mr. Mudavaren wasn't here. So as I look at this as a city taxpayer, I got to wonder, when the heck are you guys coming to work? What rules do you have on whether you come into work or just some council members just meander in 10, 15, 20 minutes late, half an hour late. So what we're doing right now is we're gonna go through the hall last year, and every time somebody's late, we're gonna put a little report card out on you guys on the first of the year. So, in saying all these things, we put a press release out, and we called on Mr. Porterfield as the president. You know, what rules do you guys have? And you get paid to represent us. And when you don't come to work, you shouldn't get paid. And I think it's an absolute travesty that you guys feel you deserve a raise when you guys can't come to work, when you guys can't pass a budget, which in violation of the city charter, and yet we do so much work. So the bottom line here is you have failed the city of Schenectady, you failed the taxpayers, and now let's see what you passed. You passed a staffing cut of over $660,000 of police overtime. When both the fire chief and the the chief of police came in to tell you that it's directly staffing. Overtime is staffing. It's because of vacancies, staffing. So when you complain about response times or you complain about other issues to deal with the police, remember now, you're cutting their staffing. So overtime translates into staffing. I don't know how anybody could have missed that. The Chief Marino and Chief Clifford were very clear on that. So I guess when we take a look at how we look at how this budget passed, you got people who didn't come in, you guys called a recess beforehand, and everybody, you had city council members, and I will, you know, I really appreciate your work here. You were here and you're willing to work. Others weren't.
I need you to summarize, please.
Oh, very good. So I think I can safely say that most of the city taxpayers think you guys are failing on your job. But I want to just leave you with one thing, and the woman just spoke about it, was the moratorium on, the tobacco use and close it. So all you city council members who want to complain about being close to where the tobacco places are, one of the councilmen had something to say about it, about how you buy an apple or whatever it is.
I need you to summarize, sir.
Okay, and just want to say is, if you vote no on the moratorium, if you voted no, don't get up now and say that, you know, it's a bad thing to be around kids. It is a bad thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James Nelson.
I'm going to try to be real brief. The acoustics in here are terrible. My name is James Nelson. I own a property over on Prospect Street. I've got low-income folks in there. The nuisance committee took a picture of my house. I was notified at 4 o'clock on a Friday that this needed to be resolved by the following Monday, which was a holiday. I had to pay double time and a half for a truck and double time for laborers to take the cuttings an arborist put in front of the building off of the property. Somehow there's a $50 administrative fee that comes from a nuisance committee. Apparently the only person that is allowed to reverse this $50 fee sits before us here. I've been attempting to contact you, sir, for weeks upon months with no response from you. Your office has contacted me. By that Monday, the problem was remedied. Tuesday I came in here, Monday I came in here, and Wednesday I came in here to no avail, to talk to absolutely no one. I don't know how somebody can have a nuisance committee that is the police, the judge, the jury, and the executioner when we're supposed to have a system of checks and balances. I think this needs to be reviewed. This nuisance committee, to summarize, to the taxpayer, is a nuisance. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no one else signed up to speak, so I declare the public comment of city business closed. At this time, any miscellaneous business of the council? Mr. Williams.
Before I begin, I would like to first thank everyone that came out and spoke. I actively take notes, and definitely the packet that we received on the tobacco communities is definitely information I'm going to take into consideration. My comments come directly in response to just the mannerisms in which our last committee meeting ended. Anyone can point out why something doesn't work. It requires a certain level of conflict resolution and compromising to step beyond our personal views and perspectives to work as a collective. At any point when an individual on the council is unable or unwilling to speak in a productive or constructive manner, I respectfully ask them to reconsider their purpose. This council isn't comprised of 7 individuals. It's one body set forward to advocate legislatively to improve the quality of life for Schenectadians. This budget, as which has been so carefully dissected and recognized throughout our community, reflected a set of council members positioned unwaveringly in support of the mayor's proposed budget, and another set of individuals making multiple concessions to advocate and accommodate conflicting interests, such as approving large-scale budget increases and keeping the tax burden at a marginal increase. There's truly nothing easy about the tasks set before us as a council, and the infighting truly needs to stop. However, I personally look forward to hearing the mayor's formal remarks on the budget and will incorporate any and all indirect and direct feedback into future annual related budget conversations and discussions so that I can continue to improve my manner of dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. Hope everyone had a happy and healthy and didn't eat too much Thanksgiving. It was a good time here in Schenectady. Hopefully we're going to have fair weather for the entire winter, but remind people that we might get a little bit of snow at some point. If that does happen, when it does happen, remember to take one shovel on each side of your fire hydrant, and the city crews really are working in your best interest, even though some of that snow is going to end up on your sidewalk, and we do appreciate your patience in terms of getting that off and working with the crews in, again, the slight chance that we might get a snowstorm. Mm-hmm. But again, thank everyone for coming out tonight. Enjoy your evening and enjoy the holiday season. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd also like to thank everyone for coming out tonight to give your voice to how you feel about the job that we're doing or not doing, about your concerns about the city, and because it's your right to do that, and we need to hear from the public, so appreciate it. We know that we're not always going to get compliments, but that's okay. It's, it keeps you on your toes. So in terms of, people, in terms of where the charter speaks to in not passing the budget on time, I invite the individual who spoke about that to really revisit that and to just make sure they're clear on how that really is worded. Mr. Nelson, our Corporation Counsel, will speak to you regarding your situation. Okay? I have nothing else, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mr. Williams. Second by Ms. Patrick. All's in favor? Aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.